The cut of a corner. The cave was dark, cool, and quiet. So quiet David could hear his own breathing. Outside, King Saul's soldiers spread through the wilderness of En Gedi like hunting dogs. Saul himself stepped into the cave to rest, unaware that the man he hunted now stood only an arm's length away. David did not move. His men whispered urgently from the shadows. "This is the day the Lord spoke of. Strike him." The enemy was exposed. The throne felt close enough to touch. David crept forward anyway, but not with a blade raised. He reached down and cut only the corner of Saul's robe. The sound was small, the act even smaller. Yet David's heart struck him harder than any sword. He backed away, trembling, not with fear of Saul, but with reverence for God. When Saul left the cave, unaware of what had happened, David followed him out into the light. "My lord the king," David called. Saul turned. Shock rippled through his guards. David bowed low and held up the torn piece of cloth. "See," he said, voice steady, "I could have killed you, but I would not lay my hand on the Lord's anointed." The wilderness held its breath. Saul wept. The king who hunted David now stood exposed, not by violence, but by mercy. "You are more righteous than I," Saul said. "May the Lord reward you." They parted that day without bloodshed. David returned to the caves, still hunted, still waiting. But heaven had seen enough. Sometimes the true test of power is not what we can take, but what we refuse to take when it is within reach. Commentary note: David was already anointed king, but he refused to seize the crown through blood. This story confronts a hard truth. Being right does not always mean acting now. God's timing often tests character before it delivers reward. David chose conscience over convenience, and in doing so, proved he was fit to rule long before he ever wore a crown. Historical note: this event is recorded in 1 Samuel 24. David, Saul, the wilderness of En Gedi, and the incident in the cave are all historical biblical accounts. David's act of cutting Saul's robe and sparing his life is presented in Scripture as a defining moment of moral restraint. This retelling expands dialogue and atmosphere while remaining faithful to the biblical narrative.